S&P 500's best week since August, but it was a bit of a roller coaster ride up until then. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor. A court in southern Russia convicted 15 captured Ukrainian soldiers on terrorism charges Friday.
Ukraine has denounced the trial as a sham and a violation of international law. The Russian military court sentenced 15 men from the Ida battalion to prison terms ranging from 15 to 21 years. The verdict marks the second mass trial of Ukrainian prisoners of war since March. In the March trial, 23 members of the elite Azov brigade were convicted on similar charges. Ukraine also denounced that trial as a violation of international law. I'm Karen Chanas.
A Cameroonian flagged ship has caught fire in the Gulf of Aden off Yemen. At least one mariner was missing Saturday, and another still likely aboard the burning tanker after the rest of the crew abandoned the vessel. British and European Union officials offering differing opinions about what sparked the blaze aboard the Falcon, with the British suggesting a projectile may have hit it, otherwise an accident. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Thanks.
I'm Ron Taylor.
All right.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Okay. Yeah. What?
Red light for me.
Hey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Oh, okay. Good morning. That woke me up. It is the 19th of October, 2025. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is Sunday morning. You know, even though the sun hasn't come up yet, but
Sun. What sun? Lack of sun at this point in time.
no Sunday morning.
I got my marching orders over here.
Yeah. All right.
Per order of Paul Laz. I have to take you to breakfast today. Big smiley. You know what? I love getting these. You know what? They say the small things in life are the most precious. The little things. You know,
Yes.
You can have wealth, you can go to a big game or whatever, but somebody who cares enough about you, who likes you, is a good friend, befriends you, and like leaves a nice little note for you to come in, a smiley face on a bag, a smile. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best feeling in the world. And Paul Laz has a show on Saturday at 10 o'clock called Cranberry Country Journal. He's been doing this for years, and he's the nicest guy. He's a great friend, and every time I see him, I always puts me in a good mood. Every time. I mean, this is people you run into. You can have the worst day of your life, and you run into them, and you smile.
Yes.
And this man's one of them. He leaves a note for you, and he leaves a note for myself. And I just want to say, Paul, if you listen, I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
Thank you, Paul.
But I'm not sure if he's getting breakfast. No, I'm just joking. Well, I mean, he doesn't get out of it at 12. I bought him coffee.
At 12, so
I bought him coffee. Does that include breakfast? Yeah, give him coffee.
lunch, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever. But I mean, that's wanted to bring that up. That's great to get these, and it makes you feel good. I mean, you got certain people who are in your life who just make you feel good, who just make you smile. Always put a smile on your face, put a glow in your heart. I mean, it could be raining, it could be downpour, you could be having a miserable day. Who knows? But you run into certain people, and all bets are off. You're just happy, and that's we need more of that in this world, I think. You know what I mean? So.
All right. We have our today in histories. Let's start off that right now. October 19th, 1453, during the 100 Years' War, 3 months after the Battle of Castilian, England's forces loses its last possessions in southern France. 1781, During the American Revolutionary War, the siege of Yorktown comes to an end, and the war would come to an end not too soon after that. 1789, John Jay is sworn in as the first Chief Justice of the United States. 1936, this is an interesting one. New York World Telegram reporter Herbert Atkins won a race against two other New York newspaper journalists to travel around the world on commercial airline flights. He accomplished the feat in 18 and a half days. His opponents were New York Evening Journal reporter Dorothy Kelligan, who finished in second place, and New York Times reporter Leo Curran. 1950, during the Korean War, the Battle of Pyongyang ends in a United Nations victory. Hours later, the Chinese army begins crossing the border into Korea. 1953, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451 is published. 1955, the General Assembly of the European Broadcasting Union approves the staging of the first Eurovision Song Contest. There was a Eurovision song, I think this was 1982, by an artist called Nicole, and she was German. She won that year in 1982 for A Little Piece, is the name of the song. And what a great song that was. Nicole, A Little Piece. I believe that was 1982. That won that year's Eurovision contest. 1956, the Soviet Union and Japan, they signed a joint declaration, officially ending the state of war between the two countries that had existed since 1945, August of 1945. 1987, Black Monday, the Dow Jones Industrial falls by 22%, 508 points. 2019, members of the Parliament met at the House of Lords to discuss the United Kingdom's Brexit deal. This was the first Saturday sitting in Parliament since April 3rd, 1982, during the Falklands War dawn. Wow. They don't really, there's not really many Saturday Parliament meetings, but that was a big one. And I think a state of war also is a big reason why you have a Saturday Parliament meeting. But there's not a lot of Saturday Parliament meetings done.
That was a big chess match that war in Argentina did pretty well at first.
Yes.
They really did, you know. I've always had this theory, and it was always in my head, but because, you know, sometimes you think, right, that a lot of the Luftwaffe pilots at the end of World War II were in Argentina, right? So they all live over there, but maybe they slipped through the cracks, drive the justice, or maybe they were just pilots who didn't have warrants or whatever, you know, in Europe. But what are they going to do when they go to Argentina and they're pilots? They're going to join the Air Force. So in 1945, the average pilot was 20 years old. So 40 years later, they're 60. You know, I was wondering if any of those Luftwaffe pilots were still flying in their 60s for Argentine Navy and Air Forces. I mean, I know that in the United States they have certain retirement times. They're going to get out of the cockpit, but every country's different. I mean, you could be flying. You could be 7-year-olds with just unbelievable skills because
Yeah.
I don't take anything away from the Argentine people too, who, you know, whatever. But some of the flying, if you go back and look at some of that footage of the Falcons, some of the flying was really, really good. And they had the Exocet missile, which helped them a lot. They bought that off France.
Yeah.
And the Superton Daz, I think they call them. I should have known. Not too sure on the plane, but they were, you know. But I just wonder. Sometimes, you know, you just wonder if there were Luftwaffe pilots flying during that war because that wasn't a cakewalk. I mean, I know they went 8,000 miles, 10,000, or how many thousand miles from Great Britain, and it was shaky, but with no help. They had no help from us.
No help. Yeah.
So I just wonder. I always just think, what was there to for the pilots flying in Argentina? At that time they would have been between 60 and 70. So you never know. I mean, you don't lose skills.
No.
I mean, and you come from Germany, and you're the one of the best. They were like the world's best fighter pilots in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you look back to 50, 60, 60. You won in 1982. You wonder if there was a few left.
All right. Born on this day, 1895, Frank Durbin, an American soldier. He died in 1999. So 104 years old. Wow. Born on this day in 1930.
He died in 99.
Yeah, he died in 1999.
What date?
Frank Durbin. I don't know, but he was born on this day in 1895.
Oh, okay. Born on this day.
Born on this day in 1932. Robert Reed, American actor. Don.
Mr. Brady.
Mr. Brady. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you're on a Robert Reed kick and you want to, he also, because I was a big fan, and this was a bomb, and I try to go back and watch it. It's even tough for me. The original Battlestar Galactica, I think it was 1.5, 2 seasons. They came back in 1980 called Galactica 80.
Yep.
Robert Reed was a scientist or something like that. So I remember that. And then Mr. Brady for sure. But I think he regretted doing that because I think he was a stage actor before he started with the Brady Bunch. And sometimes you get cast sometimes when you go on a program and no one takes you seriously. I mean, he couldn't play a bad guy to save his life after the Brady Bunch. Who would believe him?
No,
You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
I mean, and there was always these bad guys, like Victor French is another one, who was always the bad guy in the Westerns, and then he turns around and does Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon. And I think he begged for that role because he was just as a villain all the time in the Western. So, I mean, it's funny how, and it was really good. I mean, it was definitely, but he still had the tough guy image in Highway to Heaven.
Yeah.
And I watched my share of Highway to Heaven with my mother. So, anyway.
So, Don, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Who are your top 2 favorite Jamaican singers?
Oh, Bob Marley
Yeah.
and Jimmy Cliff.
For me, it's Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Jimmy Cliff.
Yeah.
Peter Tosh, his birthday is today. He was born on this day in 1944. Of course, Jamaican singer-songwriter. Wrote No Nuclear War, which was a huge song.
Well, that was his last album.
Yes, that was his last album.
I think he put that out right before he was murdered.
He was kidnapped and murdered, yes.
Yeah. It's not well known. I mean, it's a different kind of album. Would that come out in '87? Was it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it was.
Yeah, he died in '87. He was murdered. I don't know if he was kidnapped. He was murdered for sure. I think he was murdered in his own house.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the guitarist. He was the guitarist for Bob Marley for years. He did a lot of backups. Although, you know what? Listen to Bob Marley. They perfected the backup singers.
Yeah.
And, just the creativity of the Bob Marley band when they first came out is unbelievable. The sounds that are coming out. It's just I've never heard anyone, do better than that, in my opinion. And I'm talking all genres, not just reggae. But I mean, there was a lot of backup. Rita Marley, big, and they had other women vocalists too, which were really good. So I mean, if you never really listened to reggae, and you want to start with Bob Marley. Start with Exodus. That's a good album. Start out with that one.
Yes. Okay. We have the next birthday we have here is Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman. Ivan Reitman, of course, directed the first 2 original Ghostbusters films. Ivan was a great director. He passed away. Jason He also directed a couple of Ghostbusters films, the newest ones. He also directed. Here's some of the movies he also directed: Thank You for Smoking, which came out in 2005. Juno, which was a big movie. Ellen Page was in it. That came out in 07. Of course, the two Ghostbusters films that came out in 2021 and 2024. And Saturday Night, which was the film about the Saturday Night Live. So that came out last year as well. So, yes, a very good director. He's not even 50 yet. So he's got a lot more time to direct even more great films. But Jason Reitman's birthday is today. Born on this day in 1977. All right, our passings for today. 1856, William Sprague III, American businessman and politician, the 14th governor of the state of Rhode Island. Don. Yeah. 1897, we got a. This is an interesting one, Don, for you, since you like trains a lot. 1897, George Pullman, American engineer and businessman, founded the Pullman Company. Yeah. 1997, Glenn Buxton passed away on this day, 1897. Of course, he was part of the Alice Cooper Band, the original Alice Cooper Band, and he died in 1997 of pneumonia. Born on this day, passed away on this day in 2003. There we go. Road Warrior Hawk, American wrestler, of course, WWF, and stay a big part of a huge tag team during the golden era of WWF. There, a little after the golden era of WWF, but they were a great tag team. That and Road Warrior is part of that. Road Warrior Hawk. All right, we have that. Let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about some blood drives and talk about some other things going on as well. Then we'll do a 7:30 break. Talk about more local events as well. And maybe do a little bit of a transportation segment as well during the show today. 508-822-1106 is the number if you want to call in, and we'll be right back. There we go. All right.
We got to mention that the new transportation secretary. We should mention that.
We should, yes. All right. So, okay. I need my son of
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton,
call them
Massachusetts,
tomorrow.
offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car.
46.
They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You can reach them at 508-583-1495.
Here, Dad.
They're open Monday
Here for a
through
second.
Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4.
It's back in the black little thing on the door. No, other one.
508-583-1495.
There's no way you can hide it. If you drive drunk, they're gonna find you. So stop kidding yourself. Sir, have you been drinking tonight? Sir, have you been drinking this evening? Sir, have you been drinking tonight? They will catch you and arrest you. Drive slow or get pulled over.
St. Vincent de Paul of Sacred Heart Church in Middleboro serves the residents of the towns of Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Our base of operations is in the lower level of the parish hall on Oak Street, directly across the street from Sacred Heart Church in downtown Middleboro.
I love
At
the
this
music.
time, we serve approximately 500 families.
It starts out like
Many
the
of them
top
come
of
to
the
us
song,
with various types of pain.
top of creation
This can take many
at the
forms.
beginning. You know what I mean? You know.
Many of the
Yeah.
I point that out to you. You know?
utilities and rent assistance, agency referrals, clothing and furniture vouchers, and temporary lodging. For more information, go to svvbmiddleboro.org. May the Lord bless you and keep you safe.
I didn't think taking a few of my buddy's pain pills would be that big of a deal.
Holding on to an old prescription? Who cares?
My grandma was going to use those pills anyway.
It wasn't a problem.
Our stories are different, but the outcomes are the same.
You could save someone's life.
It's time to take back your unused or expired prescription drugs.
Before they end up lost.
Stolen or simply misused.
Help keep our community safe and healthy at DEA's Take Back Day, October 25th.
And we're back. So turn down the bumper music. There we go. 7:28 a.m. here. Open phone lines 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number if you want to call in, talk about whatever is on your mind this morning. It is the 19th of October, 2025. I am Joey Driscoll, joined as always by Dawn. There will be a couple Sundays coming up, I believe one Sunday at least coming up that Dawn won't be with us due to him going down south. Dawn.
Yeah.
Jealous. But
I know.
but
I'm gonna help a friend.
it's for a good reason.
I'm gonna help a friend drive his vehicle down south, and then I gotta visit my sister for a couple of days, which is important because this is family.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's
very important.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah. So one of these shows.
And then in December, I'm gonna be jealous again. Twice, right? I'm gonna be jealous twice in one show.
Yeah.
I'm going down with my brother.
So there's gonna be 2 Sundays. You're gonna be gone. Yeah. So
yeah, well, that's gonna be December. That's gonna be the last Sunday in December.
yes. So
Yeah.
So we got a couple of shows where it's just gonna be me. So isn't everyone excited? All right.
Well, sometimes you just can't shut me up. I bet there's days you wish I wasn't here. We've been getting along on the air pretty well.
Yes. Yes,
No
we have.
stats anyway.
Yes, we have.
It's my show. I'm turning down your volume. Turning down your mic.
Coming up in November, we'll have 3 Driscolls in the studio. So that's going to be exciting as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. My nephew Jay, he is your cousin Jay, is a Mass Maritime graduate, and he's going to sit with us, and we're going to talk about the 50th anniversary of the Edmunds Fitzgerald. It's coming up on the 10th, and the Sunday closer to the event would be the 9th of November.
Yeah.
I actually was going to go earlier, but I told my friend, look, we got the show coming up. We're going to do this. So no problem. We bumped it up.
Yeah.
And then we got the tickets. I'm flying out the next day. So whatever. You know.
All right, our blood drives. Thursday, October 23rd. Homes for Our Troops, 6 Main Street, Taunton, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for that blood drive. And then we have Tuesday, October the 28th at the Norton Public Library, 68 Main Street, Norton, 12:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for that blood drive. And that will do it for the October blood drive. Oh, we have a phone call. Let's take that phone call and say, good morning, caller. You are on Middleboro Review. There we go. I had to think for a second what show this was. But anyway, good morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Joe. I figured if you could talk about the 100 Years War as a Middleboro subject, I might be able to go just a little bit far. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Is that Paul?
Is that Paul? Is this Paul?
Your in-studio
Yes, it is.
partner there, he was talking about how certain actors had were somewhat ubiquitous in bad guy roles. And
No, it's this Jim
one of the ones that always sticks out with me is Alan Hale. He was skipper from Gilligan's Island, and but in westerns he was always a bad guy. He was in Hang 'Em High with Clint Eastwood and a couple other ones. He was always a bad guy, and then he gets a skipper.
Jim, good morning. How are you doing?
Well, I'm not doing too bad, John. I know that you oil guys are getting a little rough because the summer's almost over, but I imagine you're going to be cranking very soon.
Yeah,
I'm in the 40s. You get the call, right?
Yeah. Another actor, right, who always played the good guy, played the bad guy. Did you ever see the movie Emperor of the North with Ernest Borgnine?
I absolutely did. Emperor of the North with Lee Marvin, Keith Carradine, as I recall, and Ernest Borgnine about the hoboes on the train.
Ernest
Borgnine was the conductor who he put a metal weight on a rope and dragged it under the train. Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I grew up with McHale's Navy, and even Ernest Borgnine with Airwolf, he was always, silly and happy, that was good too, having him on the Airwolf. You ever see Airwolf, Joey?
I have not.
J. Michael Benson, that was really good.
Well,
But I mean,
a helicopter TV show, too. Come on, I was Whirlybird's name one.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Joe's blanking on Whirlybirds, I can tell.
Yeah, I gotta. Well, he's a binge guy. Once he starts on something, he loves it. You know what I mean? And never puts it down. But Ernest Borgnine on that one. Yeah, Alan Hoyle, another one. So yeah, there's a lot of people. And then I don't remember ever seeing Robert Reed in any big movies after the Brady Bunch. I really don't. They had the Brady reunions and then he was in the Battlestar Galactica 80. He was in that. That was a program, but I don't remember seeing him in any major movies. And that's
Robert Reed was a Shakespearean trained actor, and most of the accounts I've read, he absolutely bitterly hated his role in the Brady Bunch because he thought it was so shallow and vapid. And, all of the bit players, Madge and so forth, were there, were all just silly. So I wonder if I could do a little public service announcement.
Go ahead.
Well, Tuesday night, the city elections in Taunton are coming fast. And, of course, there's some spirited contests, as they say, for mayor and some other things. And a group of people who are called the Ware Dustbusters. They are a group of residents in the Ware section of Taunton who have been fighting a cement plant that was located down in their neighborhood, and they're having a candidate forum Tuesday night at the DFW, but it only is open to the mayoral candidates, planning board candidates, and the zoning board of appeals candidates. And I will be the moderator, but they've got an interesting format. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for an opening statement, and then each candidate will answer 2 questions, and they gave them questions in advance. And they said, just so you have time to prepare a coherent, concise answer. And the questions are specifically about how will you, if you're elected to the ZBA planning board, how will you deal with development projects as well as variances as they relate to environmental impact on a neighborhood. You always hear about traffic and things like that, but air quality and some of those other issues rise up. So the Ware Dustbusters, this is just a group of people. They're not funded by George Soros or some big rich ones, but they're a group of neighborhood people who, over the years, have been working in the Ware section on Berkeley Street in particular. Also try to improve the neighborhood in terms of air quality, water quality, and environmental issues. Stormwater runoff, all of those things. So that'll be Tuesday night. The mayoral candidates have been invited. I'm not involved in the planning or the execution of the thing, but I will be the moderator, reading the questions and introducing the candidates. That's Tuesday night, 6 o'clock at the VFW on Beale Street in Taunton.
That side of town is really developed. I've had the opportunity with a friend of mine to launch a boat at the Weir and go all the way down to Battleship Cove. That stretch of the Taunton River is absolutely beautiful, and I think once people realize how nice that is, plus they got the restaurants around there and stuff like that. You do talk about you talk about the environmental factor and whatnot, and business is business, and people need to work. But what do you say, like being at Mansfield is worse after a night of a concert? The way they do the traffic mitigation over there, because the reason I say that is because we saw Deep Purple last year up in New Hampshire, same kind of setup as the place we have up here in Mansfield, right? And we got out in 15 minutes. We got out in 15 minutes, and it was just as big, and it was just as crowded. I don't know why the town of Mansfield, the state, makes that venue in Mansfield do a better traffic mitigation, because I've waited 2 hours to get out of that place, and I can see, what do you got, 10,000 cars idling? I mean, that would be a worse footprint in my opinion than any kind of factory or anything else, because of what that.
I just went to a show in Mansfield. I saw Wayne Orlovich, who had a song called New Toy, and she was one of the first original art rockers in the late 70s, early 80s, and followed by Middleboro, who gave about an hour 15 performance that was the most energetic, musically incredible, and visual live concert seen in a long time. But the headline act was the B-52s. And I went to, in fact, Kate Pearson, the redheaded singer in the B-52s, she lives in Harwich.
They do Love Shack? They do Love Shack, Jim?
They do Love Shack. Of the three acts, the B-52s did the shortest set.
Yeah.
They just came out and did the hits.
Okay.
They did no deep album stuff.
Yeah.
But I did a little research into Great Woods. Just was curious about how big a venue it was. It's 19,000 seats. And the traffic issues they've improved on somewhat, but their biggest problem is their proximity to 495. And as you know, if there's a show, particularly in the southbound 495, the traffic backs up out on the ramp itself. Was partially designed as a juncture between 140 and in Mansfield, Norton, that whole area just before where 495 hits 95 north and south. But the traffic, the internal traffic, I found at the show I went to just 2 weeks ago. So I think this is up to date stuff. Internally, they've got it really well organized. You come in off the highway and it's moving a little slow, and all of a sudden there's like 4 lanes. One for drop-offs, one for Uber, one for handicap, another one for VIP. And you all come down the 2-lane main entrance, but all of a sudden just very quickly dissipates into these different areas. Because Uber, I guess, who would have imagined that back in the day when I think it opened in 85 or 6. But they got things where people taking Uber, and it's specifically a lane for you to drop somebody off and get out. And getting out wasn't too bad, but the internal traffic management of most of these venues, even Patriots, because it's football Sunday. I remember going to some Patriots games after the new stadium opened up under Kraft, and we came over at 4:15. It was 7 o'clock before we even thought about leaving. And but I think the key thing I want to say is that at Xfinity Center in Mansfield, when the traffic comes off, they really manage it well getting in, and then going out was kind of the same thing. They had internal people, sort of traffic that was exiting from the lot into the exit ramp, or cars that were coming from the other side of the new VIP and so forth. They were really moving along pretty well. It's 19,000 people, and well, you know, of course, we're sitting there singing Love Shack and Rock Lobster and Planet Claire and Give Back My Man and all those songs. It was a great show.
Jim, but what I saw different between, and like I said, it's probably improved, but I kind of stopped going there because of that. Because, you know, it's just like I could drive home from New Hampshire in 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? Then it takes to get out of the parking lot. The whole idea of sitting in the parking lot for that long to get out. And I used to drive limo back in 06, 07, and we went to the shows, and it was ridiculous. It was just dumb. But what New Hampshire did, okay, and I forgot the name of that place, but it's up in, you know, it's up near the lakes there, up in Guilford, New Hampshire, up that way. They had the parking lots like staged. They're like smaller parking lots, and you didn't see the other parking lot because what they did is when they built it, they built the trees down. Okay, and you might have a little more, it might be a little more hilly there, so you didn't see the other parking lots. So you didn't see how, you know, you didn't see. So what you did is when you got out, okay, you just went through these series of parking lots, and I think they got the room to work with over there. I mean, they could just, as long as you can keep it moving and not see the other parking lot. It's the whole visual part that screws everybody up, I think, in my opinion. It's just.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's, I mean,
right after Xfinity Center opened, during those days, 80s, 90s, my sister, if you came out of the venue and went left across over 495 and then down the hill was as a street comes in on the right, my sister lived down there. And so we would go to her house and walk, and it was only about, you know, I don't know the distance from the studio there to say, you know, Gordon M. Mullen Parkway down there on Dean Street, the traffic light on Long Meadow Road. But, so for many years, I didn't care about the parking at Xfinity Center because I just went to my sister's house, parked the cars, and walked over and then walked back to get in our cars. But I thought the traffic at those were a lot. That was my concern going into it. I said, oh, God, how long is it going to take? Well, it didn't take us any time at all to get in. And they said, well, somebody said, weak ticket sales. And I said, I don't know. The first act came out and it looked like, you know, kind of like the sound check crew instead of the crowd. And by the time Vivo came on, you could look around and there wasn't an NPC inside. So 19,000. And then getting out was actually pretty good because you're in the parking lot and you had to get back onto the road to get out.
Yeah.
And at every stage, everywhere that you could make a turn, like at the end of the lane you were parked in, they had people, and I could see they had radios that they were saying, okay, let 5 through, let 10 through, and I think that the internal traffic management for the exit stuff done, I think it's been. I don't know what it was in the past because I wasn't.
Yeah, you know what? It might have got better, but the times I had to wait just put a bad taste in my mouth. I'd rather drive 3 hours because my thinking is I'm not going to wait in a parking lot for 2 hours. Back in the day, and in the early 2000s, late 90s, some of the neighbors on the Mansfield side of the line, you could park in their homes and then they'd let you hang out, you know, on their property, and then you could walk over into the woods. But I think the town might have put the kibosh on that, or I'm not even sure.
I think they've got that fenced off now, Don. I know exactly where you mean.
Yeah, we went to one house. It was there was these people. They were really nice. You know what I mean? And they let the ladies go in and use the bathroom because, you know, all the porta potties are disgusting there too. I mean, it's just more than one things that just kind of turned me off. And I'm not saying what the place is because I don't want any heat going down on anybody here, but. But like I said, it was the bathrooms, it was the cleanliness of it, the parking situation. I mean, the price is the price as far as whatever you buy, you purchase, for drinks and food. That don't bother me. But give me a clean bathroom, and I can get out within 20 minutes because I feel guilty.
I was surprised at the men's and ladies' rooms that was another thing that, as I recall, somehow they had gotten their act together on it. They had one line in and a separate door out at both of them. And as a result of it, and then they had somebody hidden where you made like the first turn for privacy.
Yeah.
Moving people right along. Open there, up you go.
Right.
Go. and I went to the bathroom in the intermission between Devo and B-52s. I don't think I was gone 10 minutes.
Well, you know what?
But
Sounds like they got their act
line
together.
out the door, but internally again, they once I got in there, they had 2 or 3 people just inside.
They got their act together.
To the door, send somebody over here,
Good.
send somebody over there.
I mean, because I think a lot of people walk because of that. I went to a little show in New York a few years ago, and the bathroom was tiny, but they had an attendant in there. You know, he sat there, he gave you the paper towel, he gave you a mint, you threw $1. I mean, and the place was immaculate. It was clean because people got, in my opinion, I don't want to be disgusting, but people have weird bathroom habits when they're not being, when no one's around. Okay, and I don't know what it is. You'd be the cleanest person out there, but for some reason, after I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just like I normally put the toilet seat down myself. I'm a guy. That's just I think it's common courtesy.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. All right.
So a couple minutes here before we take our last commercial break. I want to circle back to Ernest Borgnine because there's a couple things I wanted to talk about when it comes to movies that he was in. So in 1989, there was a movie called All Dogs Go to Heaven. The original cast, Burt Reynolds was in the original cast, and things like that. Well, they took 7 years to make a sequel. And in 1996, All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 came out. Ernest Borgnine was in it, and they couldn't get Burt Reynolds for the second movie. So they decided, and it worked out. I don't know how it worked out, seeing as some of the movies he was in, in his career. But Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen played the Burt Reynolds role in the Dog All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yes. Wow. He was pretty good at it too. Sheena Easton, I believe, was part of the second film as well. So it was a pretty good film. It was a pretty good sequel. Obviously, the original is much better, but the sequel was not that bad. And of course, Ernest Borgnine for many years played Mermaid Man in SpongeBob. So a lot of different things.
Ernest Borgnine's breakthrough role, I believe he won an Academy Award for it, was one of those socio-drama things where it was about a socially maladroit man who had trouble with his, establishing relationships with interpersonal ones with women, and it was called Martin. The title of the movie was Marnie. And it was a dramatic role, but he played the character of a sad, lonely man who was who was going through life, and his friends were all out dating and going to parties and discos, and he I believe he was either nominated or actually won an Academy Award for it. And that's essentially what launched his career, because he's one of those character actors that if you saw him, Emperor of the North Dawn, which is an incredible movie, Keith Carradine, Lee Marvin, and a tough movie to watch. That's not for the faint of heart.
No, he's Ernest Borgnine's character is a psycho. And circling back to another actor, which I always thought was a goofball, but Joey Leslie, and I'm getting more respect for him, because he was in Good Will Hunting. That's one of my favorite movies. Is
Robert Williams.
Ron Williams, but he did Insomnia and 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah,
and he was an absolute psychopath in those out. I mean, he went from goofy guy to serious. That's why I saw Good Will Hunting, and I really looked at it. I was like, wow. But he's always played like goofy movies and comedies and stuff. But 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia, he just I don't know. The script he just did really good. So he's one of those actors.
I'll leave you with one about Robin Williams. There was a television show in the 90s titled Homicide, Life in the Streets, that was set in Baltimore, Maryland. And Andre Braugher was in it, Yaphet Kotto, and each week they would have, sort of a celebrity guest star, and it was a cop drama, and a tough show to watch. I mean, and they had an interesting film technique. The camera was handheld the whole time. It's on I think it's now called Charge, weeknights 11 to 12 and then 12 to 1. Oh, that's when I'm well into my sleep by then. But they did an episode where there was a murder to be solved each episode, and Robin Williams played the part of the husband of a woman who had been murdered, and it delved into how the psychological devastation of having your most beloved person in your life murdered. And it was a dramatic role. It was not for laughs at all. And so, Robin Williams and Good Will Hunting was a good example of it. It was a kind of a ridiculous movie in its premise, but he was incredible in that movie.
Yeah, that turned me on to Robin Williams because I mean, Joey thinks he's awesome and is in his stand up. I couldn't really sit through and whatnot, but that's just my personal taste. But Joey, I mean, those two movies, and I always go. Good Will Hunting is a movie I can watch over and over and over, and I can never get sick of it. That and The Wedding Singer.
Happy ending movie. He also did the Fisher King, where he played a psychopathic person whose girlfriend in the opening sequence is killed from behind by a shotgun blast shown in slow motion. He goes from a college professor in the Ivy League to a sweet person, and just incredible movie.
Yeah.
Listen, fellas, I see the clock on the clubhouse wall. Mickey's big hand is up on the 10, and the little one over on the 8. Tuesday night, VFW candidate forum for planning board and ZBA, and they're going to do 2 questions about that go straight to the heart of environmental and neighborhood impacts of development. And the candidate's been given the questions, and it said, if the candidate can't show, you want to submit something, yours truly will read it to the people who are going to be there. So,
all right.
Early and often.
All right.
Good to hear your voice, Jim. Thank you.
Good morning,
good, Jim.
Good morning to you both. Now go do something useful with your life today, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Good to hear your voice. Stay gone.
Yep. Bye-bye. That is Jim DuPont giving us a call for speaking with us here for a couple minutes about all sorts of things.
Mr. Encyclopedia, that guy knows everything. He asks about music, he knows this, movies, everything. You know what? I think Google gets his information off Jim.
All right, we have a couple of minutes here. Okay.
You doing an ad?
I can do one ad. We'll be right back. Do one ad. Mostly PSAs.
I got something I want to say in a minute, all right?
Yeah. I'm going to do sports first. And then I'll give you the last minute of the show to say whatever you need.
Last minute or last 2 minutes?
The last minute.
Oh, you gotta do a quick. Oh, yeah, you gotta mention
I need to do sports.
All right.
Sponsored by Mass Farmers Markets, helping grow farmers markets across the state. Find your local market. Mass Farmers Markets.
I thought that was Paul at first.
I thought that was Paul too, but nope. Jim DuPont.
Did it come up, Jim DuPont, on the thing?
No, we don't have caller ID.
Oh, I thought you had caller ID, though.
No, we don't.
No, not
Not that I know of.
all right, well, you sit on that chair, not me. You gotta show me how to run things in case I need to fill in for you one day. I like to learn. Can you ask Mark?
Yeah, we can sit down at some point.
Yeah, you should be enough.
Yeah, we can do that, I guess. All right. There we go.
Lori was impressed that you could do everything. You know what I mean?
Yes. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. I turned down the bumper music. Vanderbilt. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Vanderbilt. Wow. Vanderbilt has done very, very well for themselves here this season. Just a great performance this week for Vanderbilt, beating LSU 31-24. They've bounced back from that Alabama loss quite well. Alabama and Vanderbilt could be meeting in the college playoff. I've mentioned this before, and I think it's potential that that could happen. Vanderbilt and Alabama meeting again in the playoff when we get there. We'll see what happens the rest of the way for Vanderbilt, but a huge win for against LSU. Which is a huge win. Some of the other top 25 games this week. Huge shock that number 2 Miami lost 24-21 against unranked Louisville. That's going to hurt their chances to make the playoff big time. Nebraska, thanks for coming to the top 25. You're out. You're done. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
How'd that work out for
24-6 loss to Minnesota. They were 25th ranked. They're going to be no longer ranked after this. Ohio State continues to destroy teams. I don't know who's going to beat Ohio State other than maybe Michigan. I really don't. And I don't even think Michigan can beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to win that matchup when we get to it.
That's in November, right?
That's the last weekend. That's the last game of the regular season.
In November, right?
Yes, I believe it's
Usually
in late November.
Yeah.
Or mid-November, somewhere around there. But yeah, Ohio State's undefeated, 34-0 win against Wisconsin.
They won it all last year, right, Ohio?
Yes, they won it all last year. They could go back to back.
I was mentioning last week that the vice president didn't even want to deal with the inaugural balls. He wanted to, right after he got sworn in on the 20th, he wanted to fly out and go see the football game.
Michigan State, the Spartans were defeated by Indiana. Indiana continues to be very, very good. They're third ranked in the country. 38-13 win for Indiana there. Texas A&M, very lucky that they walked away with a win. Very, very lucky that they walked away with a win against Arkansas. 45-42. That's probably going to drop them maybe a spot or two in the rankings. Maybe it won't, but it could. Old Miss, they are going to plummet down the rankings. They lost to Georgia, 43-45. Georgia needed this win. They got it. Alabama needed a huge win, and they got it against Tennessee. That's going to help them as well in the leaderboards. Texas Tech losing to Arizona State, 7th ranked in the country, down by Arizona State, who are also unranked. Oregon took care of Rutgers, not a surprise, 56-10. Also, UMass lost, by the way, again. I feel bad for UMass. I really do. I really do. We talked about Vanderbilt. Georgia Tech defeating Duke. So they stay ranked. USC probably no longer ranked after this week. They lose to number 13 Notre Dame, who continues to find ways to win. I don't know how they do it. Because I was thinking that they were going to be out of the top 25. Oklahoma beats South Carolina. BYU defeats Utah in a very entertaining game, but a very annoying game to the eyes. Don, you watched a couple minutes of that game with me. The Utah and BYU game. Those bright red and blue uniforms.
Talk about a sea.
Terrible.
Talk about a sea of color, though. It's unbelievable how the fans all play ball. Because we've been the North Station during a Bruins game, and it's just a sea of yellow and
black. Yep.
Yeah.
Double overtime for Missouri to take down Auburn. That could affect them in the rankings. Auburn's not ranked. Virginia almost lost to Washington State, 22-20. South Florida took care of business against Florida Atlantic, 48-13. Texas, it took overtime, but they beat Kentucky. Again, they find ways to win. Again, I thought they were going to be unranked or stay unranked. They were unranked at one point. Memphis lost to UAB. Thanks for coming, Memphis, to the top 25. You're gone. And a surging Cincinnati, 49-17 against Oklahoma State. Yes, Oklahoma State is terrible, but again, that's a big win for Cincinnati since they ranked, and that could help them out in the rankings. Okay, Don, you have 30 seconds.
I knew you'd give me 30 seconds. Okay, stop the clock. Governor Maura Haley did great hiring Philip Yang.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now he's the new Massachusetts Secretary of Transportation.
Yes.
And I watched the interview. Yeah, he's heading out. I mean, he dealt with the T, Easton, whatever. I think it's working pretty good. He got a good plan. He's heading out to see all these other trains. He talked about the other transit agencies in the state. Okay, I think none of them are really coordinated. Okay, if you want to talk a big game about environmental and taking care of people taking public transportation, well, you got to set it up where it's fast. Okay, and don't talk a mean game. Sell it. Have a good salesman. Have a good saleswoman. Have whoever to sell it. You have to make it cool. You need to be Guy Smiley. Guy Smiley needs to sell transit. Okay, you can't make him do it. You have to sell it to him. That's the way it is.
All right. We wish Phil Bang well.
He's gonna do a great job. He's
in
gonna
his
do a great job.
interim role.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe it becomes permanent. I don't know, but right now, interim role as Massachusetts Transportation Secretary.
I think he's gonna look at all the different transit agents that had these weird, stupid hours. Some not even on Sundays.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's
I don't
weird.
get it.
It's weird. All right, at 8:02 a.m. Goodbye, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow for Middleboro Matters. Until then, have a great weekend and go Patriots.
Broadcasting live from the Taunton Federal Credit Union Studios at 13 Church Green, we are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Michael Harrington. Several universities have rejected the Trump administration's higher education funding deal. Here's White House correspondent Greg Clarkson.
Okay.
The White House recently
Thank you, everyone, for watching the show today. I will be back tomorrow on the Middleboro Matters YouTube page. If you want to go check that out, Middleboro Matters on YouTube. Middleboro Matters Radio Show on YouTube, I believe is the YouTube channel name. If you want to check out tomorrow's show, 11 a.m. to 12. Then Friday, Joey Driscoll's Hometown Talk, I believe, is the name of the YouTube channel. On Fridays, 9 a.m. to 11 as well. I'll be live there. And I'll be live here once again next Sunday, October the 26th, 2025. Until then, I hope everyone has a great weekend. And go Patriots.
Hold
on one second.
Parent or guardian gives them permission to
Okay.
opt out.
All right.
Company also adds
All right.
that even
Bye-bye, everybody.
stricter setting parents can set up. I'm Julie Walker.
One of China's